Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques.
Hope.
Jacques.
Hope.
What's up, folks? What up? What's going on? As you all know, what's up, folks? The Tennessee Titans lose 34-14 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, Jacques, this season looks bad, looks over, bro.
Yep, it is. Yep. It's a present wrapped in a gift with a bow on it, and we just need to get to these last couple of games. But yep, it's looking like we are done, which I kind of anticipated that, but you just want to see the outcome and see how everything unravels. So, yeah, man, it's looking like it's downhill from here, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you got to have a little bit of optimism, but I just think the fan base and I think just the this people peer to kind of like, you know what, let's see what we got and just get into next year and draft and everything like that.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So,
most
definitely. So, Hawk, we'll go ahead and kick this thing off, man. With the loss to the Jags for 34-14, we know we're now 3-7, which we haven't been here since 2014, I think. Well, it's been a while since we've been here. I know me and you've been Titans fans for a long time, so we've seen the ups and downs. What's been our biggest downfall for this season that you can think of?
Man, it's so many, Jacques, but I'm gonna give my primary reason. And by the way, folks, in the chat, we do have the poll out there as far as what's been the biggest downfall for the Titans in 2023. For me, Jacques, has been the lack of talent. Now, I just think the team isn't good. I just don't think they're good. You know, in particular, the offensive line, in particular, our secondary, in particular, our inside linebackers. Overall, and our receivers, I just think we're not a good football team. I see effort. I do see effort. But you can have all the effort in the world. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. So I honestly think, man, look, there's other reasons I can go all day on. But if I put a pie graph and say 50% or 60% of the pie, I'm going lack of talent. I just don't think the team is good. We need a new overhaul. We need new draft picks. We need new free agents. Hopefully next year, you know, with the money that we have, the draft picks that we have, that should be good, man. So for me, the primary reason for me is lack of talent. What about you, Jacques?
I'm going to add talent to that. And when you say talent, I know you talk about players, but I'm also going to the coaching staff also. I believe we've seen this same song and dance on several occasions. Even we had the quote-unquote talent in here. We've always hit a plateau or ceiling. And we know when Arthur Smith left, we had Todd Down, and it was the same result. Now you have Tim Kelly in here, and it's the same result which it comes to offense. Shane Bowen is our defensive coordinator. It's the same product year after year since they've been promoted to those particular positions. So in my opinion, just my opinion, I'm going to add to your talent pool, but I'm going to add the coaching staff as well. The coaching staff equals in talent, right? If you don't have enough talent, then you have to have the coaching staff to maximize that particular talent that you don't have. But right now, what I'm seeing is a coaching staff that is also talentless, right? And hasn't been upgraded to the standards that we need as a Mike Vrabel, right? Mike Vrabel's a standard up here. Everything else is below here with this coaching staff. So for me, that's the talent piece from a coaching perspective. I think our talent comes from players and also coaches.
Facts, no paper, Jacques. So that's a great point, man. Overall, just everything around the team that surfaced that talented coaching. I totally agree with that, sir. I do. So as we know right now, the Titans are 3-7. We suck, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. I'm sure, Jacques, you're as numb as I am, bro. We stink, man. So right now, the Titans pick, and in the poll as well, matter of fact, you know, those that are watching the podcast, lack of talent, it seems to be the main reason why folks think that we have had a downfall. We do have Mike Vrabel catching some smoke and also our OC and DC as well. So looking at us being 3-7, we have to have a good draft in the first round, especially, and overall, just period. If you looked at us in the first round, pick number 6 as of today, November 20th, we're pick number 6. What position should we draft right now? If you had a position, one position, what would you draft, bro?
Man, and this is the biggest debate. This is the big debate that we were having yesterday when we was watching the game with my pops and my brother. And we've picked offensive linemen in the past 3 drafts, I think so. Yeah, the past 3 drafts. Yeah. We know the left tackle position hasn't hit. We know, I mean, Skoronski's still out, right? He's a guard, though. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, man, I would say BP, best player available, right? If that's a receiver, that's a tackle. But Titans really haven't been an organization to pick with BP, right? Best player available, BPA, best player available at that position or at that particular spot. And I think that's how these franchises have become, that over time have gotten better, like the Detroit Lions. They pick for need, but they also pick, hey, we just gonna pick, right? So instead of a position, man, I'm going BPA, best player available. If he's right there, pick him. And that can be a cornerstone for your organization, like a Myles Garrett. He's a cornerstone for the Cleveland Browns. I look at that, right? The talent that you like, okay, hey, I look at the 49ers, for example. When I look at them, they usually like to go BPA, right? They had the Bosa brother, right? They didn't have to pick him. They said, you know what? We're going to go. He's a cornerstone piece. So that's for me. What about you, Hawk?
Okay, so for me, man, there's a lot of comments in the comment section as well. I do see receiver, I do see lineman. Shout out to those that are in the comment section. Keep those comments coming along. I'll tell you, for me, man, I've been looking at free agents for next year for offensive linemen. I will tell you all, there are not a lot of good free agents that are going to be available as far as an offensive line. I would say the same thing for best player available, but if I pick one position, I'm actually still going offensive line. Let me tell you what I would do, Jacques. I literally would find some free agents in the offensive line and draft one. We need linemen, not one or two. We need 4 at least. We need 4 new linemen in our lineup next year. The offensive line is the foundation of our team, and our foundation is off. It's completely off. And that's what dictates what we can do on offense. We can't run the ball. We can't pass the ball because we can't block up front. It's been inconsistent all year long. Now, there are other things that could be better. We can run better. We can throw better. No question about that. But our offensive line, now, when I looked at the PFF rankings before this game, we're bottom 5 in almost all categories, pass blocking and run blocking. So that's clearly a need. Yes, Jock, to your point, we have drafted offensive linemen over the last few years. They hadn't panned out. Just like quarterback, any position, if you're in that position to get there, you keep trying until you find them, right? So I'm bringing free agents and I'm drafting linemen. I might draft linemen in the first 2 rounds. We need linemen. Second would be receiver. Oh, I want a receiver so bad. But I really think offensive lineman is our biggest problem, bro. Okay. I really do. Yeah. And in the poll, I do see offensive linemen more than anything. I do see other. If you say other, what position? And put that in the chat, by the way. And we got something saying receiver as well, too.
And the thing is, with the O-line, I mean, he better come in and shout out to Peter Skoronski, because even though he's a guard, he's been our best offensive lineman. But I also go to scheme as well. You can get the best offensive lineman, but do we have the OC to draw up the scheme to get him where he needs to be successful? I don't know.
That's right.
We'll see. Right. So I don't mind the offensive lineman pick. I don't mind it at all. But again,
okay.
At the same time, it's like, all right, we're gonna just do it again. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. So yeah. Yep. So how hot is Vrabel's seat? Is Vrabel's seat on flaming? Is it hot? Is it what we got?
So looking at with Mike Vrabel, we got that in the comment section as well, y'all, as far as how hot is Mike Vrabel's seat. Is it blazing? Is it hot? Is it lukewarm? Or is it cold? For me, Jacques, I want to say blazing, but I'm going to stick with lukewarm right now. I know we're losing. I know we are 3-14 in our last 17 games. And if he got fired or let go, I understand that. I do. That's the optics. I understand that. But I still say this team isn't talented. They're not talented. So I really think more than anything, man, right now, I think making sure that, man, look, when we have talent on the field, Mike Vrabel does a hell of a job. We had a very short period of time where we were incredible because Mike Vrabel he did a really good job. I understand his seat being hot. I do get that. But I think you should give him another opportunity going into next year. Hey, guy, we got you some free agents. We got you some draft picks. If by the fifth game, if we stink and we suck and we are better than we were, then you need to let him go. I think the caveat to this is his coordinators. Are you going to bring these same guys back next year? I think that could be a part of it too, Jacques. So I wouldn't mind us starting over in that regard, but I'm going to say lukewarm. What about you, Jacques?
It's the same. It's lukewarm. I mean, because, again, like I've iterated on several shows, you got money next year. You got a couple of draft picks that you can right this ship and turn the ship around. I think at this point, we need to get playoff wins also, right? If it gets to the point where, hey, the expectations should go up a little bit higher, right? Now, like you said, we gave you the talent. You got the receivers. You got your quarterback. You got your offensive line. You got your defense. Let's see what you can do with it. And if you still can't do anything with that, at the end of the day, it's just not my team, right? It's not my organization. It's they do what they want to do, right? But in the same breath, give them another shot, right? And let me say this, I've been numb for a while, man. I've been numb since the Cincy game because I know, okay, this is all that we have. This is all that we can maximize what we got. So, again, like you said, the 5th game, maybe even to give them to maybe the 10th game or even to the playoffs. Like, can he get this team to the playoffs, right? Because you think about it, how you get new people in here, they're going to have to get adjusted to the offense. They're going to have to get adjusted to the defensive scheme. The rookies are going to have to get up to speed. It's going to take time. It's not going to just something that's going to click overnight. And I think that's where a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to get in here. We're going to be successful right away. No, you're not. So it's going to take at least about a year or two to hopefully get the team back to where we were, at least into the division conversation of winning the division, right? Because that's where we've fallen short now. We can't even win the division. So you need to win the division first before you even think about playoffs. Then we get to the playoffs, and then we see what we got to do. But, again, now with the money that you got, I think he is literally – seat is lukewarm from a business perspective. From a fan's perspective, that thing is blazing. But from a business perspective, which I understand, he got another year.
Yep. I got you. I got you, man. So we got hot as the number 1, lukewarm number 2, cold number 3, and blazing number 3. Cool. I'm number 4. Okay, cool. So we're gonna check Twitter real quick, man, to see what's being said on Twitter and everything, man. We're gonna see what's up, man. See what's going on with Twitter. Let's see what we got, man, on some of the. Oh, I gotta blow up the screen here. My bad, folks. Let me make this bigger. So Jacques, another thing too, man, looking at this as well, man, with the Titans. How many more games do you think we're going to win this year, bro?
Man, in theory, we should beat Carolina. We should. That'll probably be our only win is Carolina. I think Carolina's that weak to the point where I think any team can kind of go in there and beat up on them. But it's the Titans. We never really know, okay? Bryce Young, this can be his coming out game to where we make him look like an all-star, like he was supposed to be the first-round pick. And from a offensive perspective, from a defensive perspective, man, I just don't know. So I think we have one more good game in us where we'll win. I believe that's Carolina. The rest of the games, I know we got Houston twice. We got the Jags again. We got the Colts, and we got Miami Dolphins and Seahawks. Those games, I just don't see us pulling them out. I just don't, unfortunately. And the way those teams are made up, especially, I think the biggest shocker to me is Houston. That's going to be a long game. Miami's really going to be a game that's going to really be intriguing from a eye-popping perspective. So for me, one game, we should beat Carolina in theory, and then the rest of them, I just don't see us winning. What about you, Hawk?
So looking at the chat, man, I do see most people are saying around 2 games. That's sort of where I'm at too. I'm going to say, we should beat Carolina. It's not a guarantee, but I do think when you look at Jacksonville, Houston, even Miami, I'm going to say Jacksonville more than anything. I think how we could beat Jacksonville is they'll have all their backups in. So we'll have a chance to have one of them games, man, just like these one of them gimme games. If they played their team straight up, I think the Titans can only win one more game. When you look at the Colts, the Dolphins, the Houston Texans twice, they're going to beat the snot out of us, Seattle and Jacksonville. So I'm going to say 2 at default because of playoff indications. They want to keep players healthy. That's where they're going to be. So looking at Twitter, there's a lot going on Twitter. Jeffrey Simmons is saying that he's very frustrated. Looking at different things that's going on in Twitter right now. People are saying to bring back certain players, to not bring back DeAndre Hopkins. When you look at Twitter, Will Levis, they saying he is struggling. Yesterday finally broke the will of our last remaining Titan fan. So people are chiming in saying, look, man, we're done. We're done for the season as fans. So yeah, Jacques. So let's get to our favorite part of the show, Jacques. All right, for those that have not watched our show before, man, this is our favorite part of the show. It's the live chop up where we give you all an opportunity in the chat. Throw us questions. We're going to answer your questions as quickly as possible. So throw in as many questions. Not only will we answer your question, we'll give you a shout out as well, man. So Let's get to it.
I Hawks did see a tweet that I sent to you this morning where a season ticket holder is talking about not renewing his tickets. Now, I am a season ticket holder. I do support the Titans just overall, right? I try to do what I can. And to see fans do that, and I've been to games where the opposing opponents' fans outnumber us tenfold. That's where it's at. That's where we're at with it. It's almost like going to a Titans game is just like for fun now versus I don't care if they win or not. Hopefully it's just an event, right? So that was interesting to see that from Twitter and whatnot. Somebody says, how do we turn this team around next year?
Kendall Goss in the building.
Yes, sir.
How do we turn this around next year? By your draft picks and also free agents. I think the free agents will be the biggest part that will help us to turn around. It's hard to expect that from rookies, just to completely turn it around, but you would hope we'd have enough talent to fill in those spots. It's really going to be based on Rand and who he brings in as far as free agents, man. This past year, some of the free agents, right? So hopefully next year we'll have more money. I think it's based on free agents, Jacques.
HDW Persley says, how do we believe in Rand? But Rand hasn't had a fair shot yet, in my opinion, and I think we'll really see his work next year when he has the money, when he has the draft picks, when he can fully take control of what he needs. Now, we don't know what happens in the background, right? We just don't know how much control he really has. We can say he has 100%, but we just don't know, right? So I think we need to give him at least a shot next year to say, hey, this is what we got. So that's for me, man. Let's see.
Yeah. Who else we got in here?
Okay, if a new head coach, who would be the best option next year? So they're saying if we brought in a head coach, who would be the best option? If that makes sense.
So Neil Gamble, man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Looking at things, as far as offense, I think that's where our mind should be. If we do change a new head coach, I think going into, I still think Mike Vrabel's the best option. But if they decide to go, I mean, why not give Eric Bieniemy a try with somebody like him? Now, I'm not saying that he's flat out because the season's not even over yet. So there'll be coaches available. So there's no answer yet. We got to see who's available. But I would like to have an offensive-minded coach if we got a head coach, man.
So I'm gonna say this: I wouldn't mind getting Bobby. So I think it's Slowick from Houston. They're off OC. He's pretty solid. He can get a shot, like you said. Eric Bieniemy. There's several offensive-minded guys. Because I mean, again, I think Jeff Fisher was a defensive. He was a DC too. I think he was a DC. He was DC. So I think we need a culture change. And somebody said it in the comments. Get the offense into this new century. We need a culture change. I always talk about culture. I think that'll spark the fan base if it hypothetically happened, right? I don't think it's going to happen, but if it happened, I would like an offensive-minded guy to come in and see what he can do. I mean, not saying it's going to pan out, but just why not, right? Throw it to the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. Great questions, by the way, in the chat.
Right. Offense, Arthur Smith, I wouldn't bring. We need something fresh, man.
We do.
There's a rumor he could be fired at the end of the season. Ooh,
he will be fired at the end of the season. He will be fired. Smith? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, he's doing one of the worst coaching jobs in the league. He's got talent. Right. I wouldn't go Arthur Smith.
And see, my knock on Vrabel, if Vrabel would bring in people that's on his level, if he would have kept Jim Schwartz or went out and tried to at least interview for Eric Bieniemy, I think we would be okay. I really do, because his leadership along with the talent around him, man, this team would be amazing. But that's right. Like somebody said it in the chat, they was like, those are his guys, man. And I get it. He's trying to put his people on, but man.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go for it.
Go ahead.
Well, we do have a chat that's open about who should be the running back one for the remaining of the season. Mm-hmm. We do have Derrick Henry right now, number 1, and then running back Kabidi, number 2, and then very close is Tajay Spears, number 3. I think that's an interesting question, given especially how bad our offensive line is, right? We know, again, when Derrick Henry's in the game, we do know they're probably going to run the ball up the middle, just like they did all against Jacksonville. And what happened? He got stopped immediately. Maybe changing it up a bit. You could do it by committee. Not to say you have to officially start Tajay Spears, but I do think we got to start sprinkling Spears more into the offense, especially for next year even, right? To sort of see what you got, kind of change it up a little bit. So I think that should be an interesting poll question for everybody.
Yeah. Fuzz says, what do y'all think about grabbing an OC from 49ers tree? I like it too. I mean, if you can get him as well, that again, he has that Rand Carthon connection. So we don't know, right? Nick says, right. Will Levis has the arm throw to a speedster. I like where he is, but would like to see more with a better team around him. His deep ball is amazing, but I'm with you. I'm not those fans that say I've seen enough. No, I need to see more. To be honest with you, right? And it's hard to judge it because you don't know. He doesn't have nothing around him. And when we get the talent around him, then that's when I can really judge his game and be like, hey, there's some good things, there's some bad things, and there's a lot of things that need to be worked on. But I like that comment.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what?
Sure.
With Tajay Spears, I'm gonna say this: he can catch out the backfield. Why are we not using him as a pass catcher either? So
that's right. He's our most dynamic player on offense because we don't have any. He's our most dynamic. You know what I mean? For sure. So, So go Michigan. So Neil Gamble says go Michigan and get Harbaugh. I got you. Hey, I mean, if Vrabel not, I don't know.
Okay, we got a question. If O-line is solved, does this remain run first, or do they let Levis slang the thing like Mahomes? They're kind of, if you notice, the transition is happening now a little bit because we're not running the ball as much. We're trying to throw the ball first. If you let Levis sling the thing, you know what you're gonna have. He's still a rookie. He'll still be a second-year player. You're gonna have a lot of mistakes. He's a gunslinger. He's gonna make some. Like I've said this before. He's gonna do some good, some great, which we've seen. He's gonna do some good, and he's gonna do some bad. So I would say open it up. Let him do his thing. Let him be his natural self. Let him be his natural self. But if you hold him back, you'll see.
Great question, Chap Quest. So we'll go maybe one or two more questions, y'all, and then we'll end the show here.
BK says new stadium going to keep opposing teams fans coming. Tired of feeling like BK, are you a season ticket holder? Because if you are, I understand your pain, brother. I've been there. I've done it. I've been there when Cincy was there. That really ticked me off, the Cincy game, because, and I know it's hard to come out. Nashville is one of those cities, man, where it's a transplant city, so a lot of people are from everywhere. And it gets frustrating from time to time, so I get it.
Well, be careful. The thing that resolves that, you got to win football games. We suck. We stink. Mm-hmm. So once we win, we do know once we are a winning program and winning football, but that's throughout the NFL. Unless you're a team that's been around for a very long time, that's the situation everywhere. I've been to Titan games on the road, and there's more Titan fans in that team too. So, and those teams suck. So we got to win. To bring in fans, you got to win. So, So we'll go one more question. Yeah. Do you all think the draft is going to resolve these? Do you all feel the draft will resolve these issues that we have right now, maybe next year, in the next 2 years? Because lack of talent to me is
I believe in Rand. I do. I believe in Rand. I think Rand, to me, this draft class that we got now, they're all playing. I mean, most of them are playing. Yeah, most of them are playing except Colton Dow. I give Rand a shot. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. I just give him a shot. I think he's smart, and he's in 2023, but you're dealing with somebody that's still in 2010, unfortunately.
Right. All right. We'll go one more question, y'all. We got one from A. Merrill. Is that family?
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Who do you think they addressed on defense, inside linebacker or DB? So what do you think, Hawk? Do we need an inside linebacker? We need both.
We need both. But you go corner first. You go corner first, because I'm not sure the future of Christian Fulton here with the Titans. I know he's been playing better. You know what I mean? But I think you go corner first. Inside linebacker, you can find a free agent linebacker. But you go corner first. You go outside in. You know what I mean? The in corner, then you go in for safeties and linebackers and D tackle. So give me corner. What about you, Jacques?
Like you said with the offensive line, you need like 2 or 3 of them. We need like 2 or 3 like good lengthy corners that got speed, because it's a passing game now. It's not too much of running anymore. So we need a shutdown corner. I've been screaming from the mountaintop since we started this show. We need a shutdown corner. We do.
Right.
And
that's right.
Fulton ain't it.
Yep. I got you, man. I got you. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in to the show, y'all. We really do. Again, here on Bleacher Report, if you have not followed us, follow us today, man. Follow me at Lorenzo_the Hawk. Follow Jacques at Jacques Merrill. Again, we are on YouTube at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We are on these internet streets, Shock.
Yes, sir. And let's get to this Panthers game. It's going to be interesting. I think if we lose that game, man, we'll talk about it. Just let me say that. We're going to talk about it. But again, like you said, everybody, thank you for watching the show. We really appreciate y'all, man. And thank you for the love, the questions, the interaction, the engagement. And let's get to the Panthers, man. And appreciate you, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we hope you all have a great rest of your week. And as we always say around these parts, man, facts.
No paper.